The Shannara Chronicles is a show based on the best-selling book series by Terry Brooks. Our quest today? To make some elf stones.
Hi everybody, I'm Amy. Welcome to my channel and thanks for joining me for a Shannara Chronicles inspired craft. Today I'm going to show you how to make elf stones and a leather pouch to put them in.
You can find links for all the materials you will need for this project in the description below the video, both on YouTube and at craftymcfangirl.com. Download and print out the pouch pattern from craftymcfangirl.com. You will need 3 stones, mold putty, a small flat ramekin dish, resin casting supplies, easy cast clear resin, 1 ounce mixing cups with measurements, wooden craft sticks, and latex gloves, teal ink, suede fabric. You will also need scissors, straight pins, a cutting mat and X-Acto blade, gloss varnish, and a paintbrush. First, we're going to make a mold for the 3 elf stones. Start with a shallow dish, 3 stones, and mold putty. To make a mold, separate out 1 piece of white putty and 1 piece of yellow putty. Make sure they're as close to the same size as possible. Mix the 2 pieces together until you get a light yellow piece of putty. Make sure you get both pieces completely mixed together and work quickly. As soon as the 2 colors mix, the mold putty only has 2 or 3 minutes of working time. Place the putty ball into a shallow dish and flatten it with your fingers. Then press the stones into the putty. Make sure the stones are far enough apart so that they will make 3 distinct molds. Make sure that the yellow putty comes up to the top of each stone. Set the putty aside to cure. This will take about 20 minutes. Once the silicone mold has cured, you may remove it from the dish and remove the stones. I used water in a small mixing cup to determine how much resin the mold would hold. This way I knew how much resin to mix up. Now it's time to use the mold to make elf stones out of resin. Start with easy cast clear casting epoxy. In a small cup, mix equal parts of part A and part B by volume. I used the measurements on the side of the cup, but you can also pour equal amounts into 2 cups and then mix them together. Make sure to stir the resin together thoroughly and make sure there's no strings of part A or part B visible in the mixture. If you don't mix it enough, the resin will never set and the resulting product will remain sticky forever. Use 2 drops of teal blue ink to color the resin. If you have mica or Pearl-Ex powders instead of ink, you could use them to color the resin. You can also add glitter if you want. I wanted to keep my elf stones plain like the ones on the show. Again, it's important to get the ink mixed in thoroughly. Scrape the sides and make sure the color is evenly mixed. Fill the 3 cavities of the mold with teal colored resin. Fill them right up to the top without letting the resin run over. You can pop any bubbles that rise to the surface with a flame. Then very carefully set the filled mold aside to cure. It will take 1 day for a soft cure and 72 hours for a hard cure. Next it's time to make the pouch out of suede or faux suede fabric. Download and print out the pattern from craftymcfangirl.com. Cut out the pattern piece. Then pin it to your fabric and cut out a circle of suede. Put the circle on a cutting mat and use an X-Acto blade to cut each slit shown on the pattern. Make sure that you cut through the paper and the fabric on each slit. Once you have cut each slit, you can remove the pattern and check your work. Next is time to make a drawstring. You can use a leather tie, a piece of brown ribbon, or you can make a drawstring by cutting a long thin strip of your suede fabric. Thread the drawstring through the slits forward and backward until you have a complete circle. Then carefully draw up the string and your pouch is done. 24 hours later, when your resin elf stones have cured, it's time to pop them out of the mold. If any resin leaked out of the mold, you may have some bits that need to be cut or sanded off. If you waited 24 hours for a soft cure, you may be able to trim the excess off with scissors, like I'm showing here. If it's been 72 hours or more, the resin will be much harder, and you may need to use sandpaper to buff off any seams or edges. When they're demolded, the elf stones will appear matte, and will need a coat of gloss to shine them up. I decided to use a gloss varnish. You could also brush on a coat of clear resin, but then you would have to let it cure for another 24 hours. Gloss varnish is much quicker. Just brush on a coat of shine and let it dry. Once the gloss is dried, it's time to put your elf stones in your pouch, and your Shannara Chronicles cosplay prop is ready to go. The blue elf stones are also known as the seeking stones. They allow the user to find any person, place, or thing they desire. Elf stones are the most powerful form of elven magic known on Shannara, so be careful with their powers.
Thanks for crafting with me today, guys. Have fun with your elf stones. And if you enjoyed this craft and you want to see what's coming next, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also, check out my other website, geekymcfangirl.com, where I have Shannara Chronicle inspired jewelry to check out. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.